If Bryan Kohberger's lawyers get their way, there is not going to be a public trial on television. You will not be able to see it unless you fly there. And even then, you probably won't get in. That's the argument in the courtroom. They say it's sensationalistic and prejudicial, the headlines and the content that are out there. And the prosecution's not really fighting them on it. They don't want the cameras either. But the families, some of them, they really do. They say that everything has been shrouded in secrecy. Bryan Kohberger, we know what he wants. Brian Entin, however, was in that courtroom and was watching all of these arguments going back and forth. So the big question for Brian Entin would be, did they come to any resolution?
Ashleigh, the judge did not make a decision officially about whether cameras will get to stay in the Bryan Kohberger courtroom, but it was an interesting hearing, especially hearing from the judge, because we kind of knew that the defense and prosecution both didn't want the cameras. We didn't know exactly what the judge was thinking, and he talked a lot about it today, even though he didn't make a decision. He basically said that he's not a huge fan of cameras. He didn't seem like a very big fan of the media in general, by the way, especially when it comes to the Kohberger case, but he said the cameras can add to speculation, and that even though he felt like the photographer and the reporters in the courtroom were mostly responsible, that people on social media can then zoom into the video and zoom into the pictures, and he had an issue with that. An attorney representing the media coalition who's fighting to keep the cameras argued a lot that it's important to have cameras for transparency so the public can see exactly what's going on, so that people on the internet can't manipulate the truth and say, oh, this happened in court, oh, this is what Bryan Kohberger looked like, when that's not really the case. People, responsible news consumers, should be able to watch the video for themselves and see the real video of what's happening inside the courtroom. Interestingly, one of the Kohberger victims, Kaylee Gonzalez, her dad, Steve, told me that he agrees, that he feels like the cameras should stay for the sake of transparency, and that he feels like this entire thing has been too secretive from the beginning. But again, it was interesting to hear the back and forth in court, especially what the judge thinks about all of this. Take a listen.
And the classic is O.J. Simpson. So they're saying, oh, this is great. This is great work we did, filming this. But if anybody watched any part of that case, it was a circus. So that is one of the concerns. In this particular case, we have a lot of interest, and we have a lot of people that you can't control, that your clients can't control, and they are putting out stuff that is harmful.
So we'll just have to wait and see how the judge rules on this. He could keep the camera where it is, which is sort of behind the prosecution table. He could move the camera, the pool camera, to the back behind the audience, or he could take cameras out altogether. Maybe there'll be an audio feed like we saw with Lori Vallow. We'll just have to wait and see how he rules, and we're not sure exactly when he's going to make that ruling. Also, I have some interesting exclusive information about Bryan Kohberger, who's still in the Latah County Jail behind me. I have learned that his family still has not visited him here in Idaho. They have not made a visit to the jail. We know his parents live in Pennsylvania. They have not come to the jail to visit him. There have been phone calls between family members and Bryan Kohberger, but there have not been a lot of calls at this point. I've also learned that Bryan Kohberger is a model prisoner. Where we've heard from sources that he doesn't cause any problems in the jail, and that he just kind of does his thing in his cell and then goes to and from the hearings. In the hearing that just happened here in Moscow, he was in a suit, sort of like we've seen with other times. He came in, he sat between his lawyers, he was in a green tie and a suit, sort of looked straight ahead. He was brought in right before the hearing started, and then they took him out right when the hearing ended. Ashleigh.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.